Hey guys, welcome back to
Real Love Scenario. Hey y'all.
Shout out to our real lovers. Welcome back to another week.
Welcome back.
There we go. You already know it's a good vibe when Rhonda's singing. Shout out to everybody who is watching the show. Shout out to our real lovers, those who are returning and those new ones. And if you want to be a part of the gang, make sure you like, subscribe, comment to the podcast. It
Do
means
all the
a
things.
lot to us. It's free to you, but it means a lot to us.
Please. Thank you. We're so kind when we ask for it. So it
We
just
are.
feels like you should just do it. Like we shouldn't have to keep begging, okay?
For sure.
Just stick with us for a while. You'll love it here.
You'll love it. Rhonda, how are you doing?
Good. Pretty good. A lot of work, but pretty good. Got a birthday coming up. So
oh shucks. Libra season.
it is upon us. It's still, when this comes out, it'll still be Virgo season. So no, I have plenty of Virgos in my life. Shout out to Crystal, my girl whose birthday is today. Love you much.
Crystal, I know.
Yes.
Oh, shout out Crystal.
But yes, Libra season is on the horizon, and I'm just thankful for another year.
Good.
You know, so I'm feeling good, trying to coast into 41 very comfortably.
Coasting.
Yes. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Running on fumes. I
Yeah.
just got back from Miami. Flight was delayed, landed late, but we here.
Amen. We gonna get it done.
We're going to get it done.
That's what we gonna do. We show up for you. We show up for you.
our real lovers.
That's right.
And speaking of our real lovers, I want to shout out one of our faithful real lovers.
Yes.
One that's part of the gang.
Gang.
Gang. EJ.
Hey, EJ.
So EJ said on one of our YouTube posts, Rhonda, I appreciate you being honest on your experience with dating while young. It takes bravery to put truths online about making mistakes while you were young. Yeah. We are human and we all make mistakes. So thank you for your vulnerability and openness. Oh. I respect you too, Dre, with your honesty about you and your wife and the respect you show Bree. You have such an amazing aura about you, and it gives me hope for the younger men of future generations. Thank you both for your openness, EJ.
Oh, EJ, we love you.
The heart.
We love you. Can't wait to meet you, man. We gonna have some events soon, and I hope you can pull up. I really hope you can pull up, because your messages are always so thoughtful and very, very kind. Thank you. I actually did receive a lot of love. Several people text me, including Alexia. Alexia, we love you. About that episode. And I appreciate that, because it does take courage. It's not easy. But I try to be as much of an open book as possible and not live in shame, because it happened.
Yeah.
You know, I'm human. I messed up a bunch of times, and I'm going to mess up again, you know, but the goal is to just learn to do better and be better. And so I'm grateful for all the love that I got. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, it was great. And one thing that I learned throughout this time and throughout my life is that often when you share your experience, you don't know how many people have gone through the same thing.
Absolutely.
And it's amazing. And sometimes, or a lot of times, unfortunate when it's negative things that people go through, that you all have shared experiences. So
Yeah.
I think it helped people learn that they're not alone.
Yes.
And how to move forward from it.
Yes. I'm glad we see each other. Okay.
Yes.
We all see each other.
And thank you. You aura, that's the new word too, right?
Aura.
Tell me I got some aura.
That's
I appreciate that.
Got a good energy. Good vibes.
Are you ready for our real life love scenario?
Yes.
All right.
Let's get into
go
it.
ahead. So Ruby Rose's post about Drewski have been trending as he vacations in Turks and Caicos with realtor Daniela Meneses.
Damn.
Maybe
So
the
she
name?
did this while he was on vacation with another woman.
Ruby revealed that her relationship with Drewski was a business arrangement, stating, "I never slept with that man." In word, paid for PR, not the
Cootie cat.
yeah. She's been sober and celibate for 2 months, leading to speculation about their time together. While Drewski's team claimed their relationship was real, Ruby's perspective differs. Now focused on her music and career after signing with Interscope, she aims to move past distractions.
By creating one. But go ahead. Sorry. It's fine. My bad. It's not what we're talking about.
So the question is, because that's one situation, but it made me think when I read this, like, can there be advantages to being with somebody outside of how they make you feel? Like, can somebody being in a relationship with somebody boost other parts of your life, you know, outside of just how they make you feel? And do you feel like those things are things that are worth it? things that you should pursue, things that you should look for? What are some of those advantages? I just want to dive into that a little bit.
I mean, I think the obvious answer is absolutely, right? Like, yes, for sure, you can get in certain relationships for the benefits of that relationship, the external or tangible benefits of the relationship. If someone is affluent, like you think about a Meghan Markle, I'm not saying that influenced her decision that Harry was a prince, but I can't imagine that it discouraged her decision,
just from Wisconsin working at a coffee shop.
Sure, she might have still been into him and all of that, but I think you consider certain things about people when you meet them, that how you can envision a life with them. And the truth of the matter is, like, come on, hypergamy is a thing, and it always has been a thing. And I don't, it wouldn't be a thing for me as like a front facing thing. Like, I don't want to get with someone in order to like come up off of it or get my name in headlines like Ruby and Drewski did. But I think it would be false and probably overly humble to make it seem like the things that people have, like their actual possessions, aren't something that you consider when you're dating them and how their life can impact you. No different than if they don't have those things, you consider how that would impact them. Like if somebody doesn't live on their own or can't sustain their own home, you would be thinking, how am I really going to make a life with this person? Just like if somebody has a home or is opulence, they have multiple homes, you think about, wow, that could be, I could have access to these things if me and this person works out. I think where it's dangerous is when either it's a game like this or when that is your driving decision. You're only doing it for the advancement or the tangible benefits. You're not actually doing it to truly find connection. And then the benefits are just fringe benefits. I just happen to fall in love with a millionaire. I just happen to fall in love with a very popular person. And the last thing I'll say on it is that there can be such downside to affluence and power. Like people think about all the positive sides of it. Oh, I wouldn't have to worry about bills, or I could go anywhere I want or wear whatever I want. And it all seems very fun and sexy and cool and freedom in some way. But depending on who you're talking about, like who you would be connected to, that could be a really tough life. Like you, again, using Meghan Markle as an example, she married a prince and her life went through a really, really rough ride.
That's why the Disney movies end once they get married.
Yeah, that's pretty much true,
Because they don't talk about all the other stuff.
Absolutely. Or you think about the fact that you probably can't go anywhere without security, or you don't get to enjoy the normalcy sometimes of like going to Target at 2:00 in the morning to just, well, Target not open at 2:00, but y'all know what I mean. Just to grab yourself some chips, looking a mess. Like you can't do these things, or every single word you write or say is dissected or put on a blog. Like there are downsides to, there's an other side to that coin, and it's not always pretty or fun or sexy. And so I don't know. Yes, though, the answer to your question is, of course, people do that. And
could you do it?
No, I couldn't just be with someone just for how my life would advance by being with them. I want my life to advance by being with them in primarily the intangible ways. Like I want to grow as a woman. I want to grow spiritually. I do want our finances to grow and all of that. But like, I've tried to do this and it didn't go well.
Let me ask you this then. Does outside perspective at all in any way influence who you are with?
Not really. Not anymore. I mean, the only reason I say is because
it isn't. Even if it's 2%, I just want to know what that 2%
because
is.
I do want my people to like my person. You know what I mean? Like, so I do value their thoughts because they love me. They've been around me. Like, I do want that to be a good, cohesive relationship. I would want like my mom's blessing, so I would care about her thoughts on it.
So I'm thinking less the people close to you.
Oh, just like people.
Yes.
No, I don't give a damn.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna be who I'm gonna be with because that's my person.
Okay.
Like I'm probably the worst person to ask this question to. I'm not the best person to ask this question to because I'm probably I'm the biggest critic. You know what I'm saying? Like I've already considered all the things. I've already looked at it. Like I met someone who like Whoo, child. I was like, you got what? How many babies? You know, like I'm already thinking like, that's so much, you know, that's just, so I know damn well if I say that to, or other people know this, they would be like, you sure you want to do that? You know, you positive that that's what you into, you know what I mean? So I'm already critical, like not overly critical, but I'm already critical and discerning about who I would be thinking about being with. So if they pass my test and I pass their test, I really don't care what other people think. People that don't love me, I definitely don't care what they think. I'm gonna sit beside them.
Okay.
I'm gonna sit beside them.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you think that a person's social status or celebrity status or whatever should be considered? I know it is considered, but do you think it should be considered when making a decision to date them?
Yeah, I think it should be considered, especially in how it affects you and how it affects the relationship. It is definitely, like you said, I think you explained it perfectly. There are ups and downs to it. There are things that you can benefit from, but everything comes at a price.
Yeah.
And one thing I learned in my relationship with Bree and I, when we started our business, is that the same things that made the business work are the same thing that gave us issues.
Yeah.
Like the difference in how we think made it work, because she was strong where I was weak. I was weak where she was strong. So it made it work in that way, but it also caused a lot of arguments because we thought differently.
Yeah.
So it's always understanding that there's two sides of that coin, and you have to really decide like what you are okay with dealing with and putting up with in a situation like that. I know it's hard sometimes, because although, to go into the question I asked you, although it shouldn't be a factor what other people think, there's still some part of me, and I'm sure a lot of people, that see that person as a reflection of you.
Because I think they are.
Yes. So you want a certain level of having your ish together from your person, so that it's not reflected poorly on you.
Yes.
And that has nothing to do sometimes with how they treat you, what they do for you, how they are for you. But there are times to where just the elevated status of your partner can elevate you as a couple.
Yes.
Elevate how people perceive you as a person and you as a couple.
Yeah.
And I'll be lying to say if I didn't take that into consideration, or that people don't take that into consideration when choosing a partner.
Yeah.
I remember talking to somebody who was an attorney, and they really liked the guy, but they felt like how he spoke wasn't how she felt like it needed
as
to
buttoned
be.
up as she probably would have liked.
So she's thinking of work events and things like the reflection. And this man loved her, cares about her, but it's just, she just couldn't get over like
how
just the English isn't right, the slang, the accent, it just comes across as not being, intelligent. Even if that's not fair, it's still a reflection on you.
Sure.
So I've seen it so many times where it's like, outside of how they treat you, that person status, what they do for a profession, like I said, you have to be truly secure. Like if you come in as an attorney, you work coworkers, and it's like, and this is no shade, because they actually make a lot of money, or can make a lot of money. It's like your husband's like a garbage truck driver or something like that. It's just the aesthetics of it, just kind of in certain settings, you feel like you might be ashamed to say that, or so I think people factor into it. And like I said, it would be a lie if I said if we didn't factor that into the decisions that we made, especially when we go back to a previous episode where we talked about what Sierra said he looked for in a woman, like a woman who comes in and shakes the room, moves the room. Like that's part of that. It's like going into a space and it looks like, oh, this makes sense. What you do is respectable. People see you and they're like, okay. Like, especially as a man, it's crazy that more of the material things that you have as a man in society's eyes quantifies to your level of success. And also part of that is material things like cars, homes, all that stuff, but also the women that you're with too, their appearance can signify to the world the level of wealth you truly have, right?
Sure.
Because most of the times we're mostly saying that she's with him because of
Right.
His money. Right. So it's not uncommon to see a man with a woman that people feel like is way out of his league.
Right.
Because they feel like, oh, he must have money.
Yeah, he bought her.
So that's signifying his level of success.
Yes.
To where for women, it doesn't kind of work the other way. And then also with a man with money, and I'll end here, a lot of times with some of those men is that I don't need you to do nothing else but
be
the
way that you look
good.
Yeah.
You know, take care of the things I need. I got everything else, but I just need you to, I can do all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Take care of it for myself.
Yeah.
I just need you to look good.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I mean, it's hypergamy at its core. Like that is it at its core, that you're anchoring this relationship basically on like this sexual prowess of like how you appear. You could be, don't twist our words, you could be a quality person.
Yeah.
But that's not actually truly why you were chosen. Primarily, you were chosen because of the aesthetic.
Yeah, this ain't love is blind. This ain't.
No, it's just a benefit that you are actually a good person and a nice person and all of those things. But girl, that's not really why I picked you. I actually picked you. And there is one woman, that came to mind when you was like, this is mostly men, because it is mostly men. Nicki Minaj's husband, it's the reverse, where, in general, what we know of him is that he is not a businessman. He's clearly not a rapper or a celebrity of any sort. This was someone from her childhood and from her neighborhood. And I think the primary reason, outside of, if a true connection, is that he serves as protection and comfort, in the sense of like, I've known you, so I knew you before I had all of this stuff. And it's clear that he probably is not financially contributing to his household. He's contributing in other ways, I'm sure of it, Mr. Petty, but money wise, no.
Most people go that way once they experience the other thing, though. Like I've seen people do that.
Most women do.
Just people in general.
Okay.
I've seen women do it a lot. I've heard women say, "I want to date an ugly dude," because I guess
the fine ones was problematic.
But newsflash, the ugly one could cheat too,
for sure, and they do. They got the nerve to do it,
and then y'all be 10 times madder because you be like, you the ugly, audacity.
You ugly little blankety blank. I lowered my standards for you.
Oh man, that definitely happens. But also dating somebody with clout, like people have tried that before, and then after experiencing it, they're just like,
I want a quiet person. Don't nobody know.
Yep. I don't like the attention. I don't like being at dinner and people keep coming up, and I don't like all these girls knowing. Like I'm done.
Yeah.
So I know people a lot of times once they experience that thing, they then go the opposite way sometimes too. But do you agree with what I was saying about like the feeling of like that representation of you and
totally.
Making sure that they align, and it seems like there's some alignment with you guys?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I do think your partner is a reflection of you, and that could look like a lot of different things. You know what I mean? Like you think about, you, Sierra and Russell, but then I think about an Ice-T and Coco, right? Coco's aesthetic is extremely different than Sierra's, extremely different, but I think Ice-T enjoys how his wife looks and how she represents him. I don't think that he thinks, because again, she dresses very provocative. Majority of the time we see her, we can damn near see her with clothes on, but you can see it all. But he still chose her, and I think is proud of that representation. So I think it's just a matter of understanding that everybody's choosing of how the representation looks is going to look different. Everybody isn't choosing of Russell, right? Still got a husband, but I'm okay with him being a little rough around the edges or not into Jesus as much, because that's what works for them. That's what works for them. But absolutely, your partner is a reflection of you, their behaviors, the things that they do, the way that they speak. It is all a reflection of you. That's why you should choose for the right reason, so that if you are with the man who is a garbage truck driver, you can be proud of that because you love him. You appreciate who he is to you, and what he does for a living doesn't change that. That's what he does, and he makes an honest living. He brings that money in his house. We are well taken care of. He respects me. He loves me. He raises these kids. So I'm not ashamed of what he does. I'm proud of him. He goes to work every day. You know what I mean? But that's when you're with the right person. If you're choosing him because it's like, I just got to get a man, then yes, when you're in certain rooms, you're going to be like, What does he do for a living? He works in government, sanitation. Yeah. So that's ambiguous enough to be like, well, does he actually pull the trash, or is he in the corporate office? Like, it's a lot of people work for sanitation that don't pull the trash. You know what I mean? So you want to be with a person that you really love for the right reason, you're proud of, because no matter what they do, you can say it proudly. No matter how they talk, you can be proud of that. No matter how they dress or look, you can be proud of that, as long as they're not embarrassing you.
Yeah.
Whatever that looks like for you.
Yeah, I think that it's just natural. Once you get in a relationship, you want the best representation of yourself. Even if it's like, whether you live in a mansion or you live in a hood apartment, wherever hand you dealt, you're going to try to make it look as best as possible.
For sure.
Because you feel like it's a representation of you. Even like, I remember when Bria and I started dating, initially she was like, oh yeah, I ain't posting you on my page so you get your Instagram together, because I don't feel like this is a great representation of you or
that's
me.
So petty.
It was petty. I mean, I always chalk things up when you're 23, 22, like certain things matter that don't.
Silly stuff.
And she didn't, like, that wasn't like, I'm not going to be with you type thing. And, you know, it was just, I don't think it would have mattered anyway. But as you guys can see, everything ended up working out. But I think
that Instagram nice and cleaned up.
It is. But I think it's just the natural feeling. Like, now that I'm here, it's like, I want to make this thing look as nice as possible. So I think people are going to try to, you know, do everything they can to make it a fair representation. But to the real life love scenario, Drewski, Ruby Rose, I do think that being with a person can raise your social status.
Of course.
But I just don't, I think it should be the cherry on top.
Yes.
It would be nice if.
Yes.
Not necessarily that it is the lead thing that you're looking for when choosing a person. Because a great thing too about relationships is that people evolve, and you'll start to see when you get into relationships, for those who haven't been in long-term relationships or don't really study it or look at it, is that the person starts to change based off of, they start to adapt to who their partner is anyways.
Yeah.
They start to maybe dress different based off of what their partner likes. They might wear their hair a certain way based off of what their partner likes. Like all the things that the partner desires, like it's more catered. So what that person, what you ultimately may be looking for, it might end up morphing into that anyways.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't just lead with that. Trust me, it's a lot easier, or it's a lot better to find somebody who loves you for you. And then trying to find all the other stuff, then finding somebody who's just with you for the stuff that you got.
Yeah, because next to putting them on a lie detector test, I'm not sure how you're going to prove it.
And then trying to get love out of them, because that's going to be harder.
Yes. Like, unless you can get them hooked up to a machine to be like, what are your real intentions in this relationship? Are you here for the money? If you're not going to do that, good luck. Good luck. It happens, but
it does.
I wouldn't want to be in that particular position. All right, let's get into our real love scenario. This week we hear from a person who wants to remain anonymous. Yes. Surprise. Surprise. She though says that she is in an exclusive relationship. She says we get along and we have a really good relationship. There are a few things that I'm having a hard time with though. Firstly, he has so many female friends. He's always had them, so it's not new, but it's hard for me. He assures me that it's only friendship, and I feel I can trust him. It's been very new to me, and not becoming jealous has been a learning curve. His conversations with these other girls never interfere with our time together. If we are out, he also always introduces me. He also loves to go out, and he drinks heavily. He usually does not include me on these nights out. The few times we go out, I feel I'm not a priority, and he will leave me unattended while he goes and talks to everyone, which leads me to the next issue, how we're labeling the relationship. He does not call me his girlfriend. We go out and I'm only introduced by my name. How can I be all in when he doesn't want to label it? I'm not feeling like a priority, and I'm not included in his future. Thanks for writing in.
Thanks for writing in.
We appreciate you.
I feel like I'm equipped for this scenario. Like, this is something that I understand very much. I do have a lot of female friends or friends who are women. We've talked about this a lot. Yeah. And I just want to put this out here. Just because I explain both sides of it because last time I feel like we talked about this heavily. I had people in the comments like, I don't know, Dre, the way he listen. And then the person wrote back and was like, Dre was right, this blah blah blah. So I'm giving both perspectives on the thing. So just listen to what I'm saying.
Let me get it out.
Let me say it and just take into consideration I may know a little something about how a man be thinking.
We listening. We are listening. So you have a lot of female friends.
Yes.
And I have several male friends.
Yes.
And I can't remember the episode number, but I remember it very distinctively because it was the Taylors, the Taylor Rooks, and the two ladies who have the podcast. Joy Taylor and Taylor Rooks, right? And they were talking about did they want their guys to have girlfriends, like female friends?
And Joy said
both of them were like, yes, we want this. So I find an extreme amount of value in having friends of the opposite sex.
Yes.
And I could not date a man who could not handle that. It just wouldn't work for me.
Yeah.
So, but we're talking about more so this young lady who's dating a man with lots of female friends. So how do you manage this, Dre? How do you make it work and not cause conflict in your household?
Well, first, we're going to take a different approach to this. First, one thing, if you learn, this is the Relationship Restored School and the Real Love Scenario School. And there are certain lessons that Rhonda and I teach that you hear as always being repeated every episode. We're going to add this to the list.
Okay.
The first, whenever you go into anything, you need to define terms. Because a lot of people have a vision in their head of what something means, but you guys could have two different definitions of it.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of times throughout all of our lives, not just men, not just women, but everybody, friends is a term that's loosely used to define a relationship with somebody because it's the easiest thing to label.
Yes.
Right? It's like, who's that? Oh, that's just my friend from so-and-so.
Right.
Oh, who's that? That's my friend from so-and-so. When it may not describe truly what you think a friendship might be.
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot of associates, or we place it into, we have work friends. We have going out friends. We have, like, just because I frequent a spot, I learn the bartender. Sometimes on slow days that I'm there, we'll just sit, chat it up, have a conversation. I learn more personal information about that person. May see them outside of work one time. It's like, yo, what's going on? Let me buy you a shot. Like, after time, I may categorize that person as a friend.
Right.
Because that's just the easiest
thing to say.
Who's that? Oh, that's my friend Ashley. Like, you know, she work at blah, blah, blah. But it's not like a friendship.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think that's the first thing with this scenario is like, first define like what is friend, because he may just be saying these are my friends just to categorize it in a certain way, but they probably ain't all
his actual friends.
Yes. Next is when you're in a relationship, the friendship dynamic does change. And the way that you converse, how often you can converse, how frequently you converse does change. And sometimes using the same categorizing of friends, a friend could have that title, but not currently be the same friend they were before you were in a relationship.
Exactly. I know exactly what you mean. Yes.
You know
like
what I'm
we're
saying?
still friends, but it's reimagined almost.
Exactly.
And certain parameters have adjusted or changed, even if that's just frequency and communication.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like a perfect example is my friend Abby. It's like Abby and I used to work together. I saw Abby all the time. We used to go out to have drinks. I still love Abby. Abby is my friend. I don't talk to her as frequently. She got married. I got married. She about to have a baby. Congrats to her.
Yes.
But I will still refer to her as my friend, even though we don't converse, talk, and communicate, hang out nearly as much as when the friendship was truly formed and it was like, this is my friend.
Yeah.
And Bree knows Abby, loves her. We were at the wedding, like everything. So that's something to consider in that situation too, is that when you enter relationships, somebody say they have friends, but that it may not be operating how it was when they truly became like friends.
Yeah.
My biggest thing is this, making sure that you communicate. Anytime you seem like you have something to hide, you're just raising suspicion. Even if something seems awkward, and this is for guys or women in the situation, even when something seems awkward, just tell the truth. Because if you try to tell a half truth just to get around something, because you know in your mind nothing's going on, but the optics of it look wrong, you'll still end up giving suspicion, and then make it look like you were trying to do something that you weren't trying to do anyways. But I just feel like if you be honest, you communicate, you make sure she knows who everyone is, but then also she should never feel that one of those friends are taking priority over her, or one of those friends are taking priority over him in a woman's situation.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. It's like this, I am your best friend, right? That title shouldn't be held by any other person, especially of the opposite sex,
right?
To where you're confiding in, sharing things with them that you're not sharing with me, or giving them more time than you're giving me. That's when I think it starts to become a major issue. And this is like not one-offs, like more like a repeatable thing.
Absolutely. I agree with you. And I think one of the biggest secrets in how I feel like I've been successful with it is the open and honest communication that you talked about, but with everybody. Like, not, I think we put a lot of focus on like being honest with your partner, being very transparent with your partner, but it has to flow the other way too. And then the other part I think is really important is truly establishing what's okay and what's not. You know what I mean? Like when you both are single, and I talked about this on that episode. I use this as an example because it's just literally perfect. Like, there was a time when you were frustrated about something and it was really late at night and we were both in relationships, both living with our partners, but we are friends, and Bree knows me and he knew you, you know? So there was no secret to that. And it was late, but I was up. We were up. We were kicking it at home. And based on the call that you made, I was like, oh no, this is serious. Like, I need to be there for him right now. I didn't have any pushback from my boyfriend at the time because, one, I had always been honest and truthful about my relationship with you. There were always established boundaries that we are truly just friends. We never infringe upon other things. And more important than anything else, we both have an immense amount of respect for the partners that we had at the time. Well, that I had at the time. Bree is still your partner today. So with that said, I would never want to lose those benefits, right? Like, I love you and I love him, and they're two very, very different loves, but I don't ever want to lose the luxury of being able to say, Dre, my friend and my man, trust that, and I can jump on a call with him, or I can be there for you in a time of need in our home. And it's not like, why he want to come over here? That question never came up because this was a honest, truly platonic friendship. Not we used to date and now we became friends. We had that one wild night and we just act like it didn't happen. I'm probably very old fashioned when it comes to stuff like that. Like, I don't believe in those types of things. I get it. There are exceptions out there where y'all have turned your ex-husbands, your old girlfriends into your best friends. I am not a fan of it. I know that it exists. I believe that there are people who have truly morphed into platonic friends. But if I have knowledge of that going into the situation, I am always going to look at that situation the wrong way. I'm always going to have my eye on it like, okay, she seemed nice, she cool. Because unfortunately, people will play in your face.
Yep.
Your friends will act like they're just your friend, and whole time a whole situation is happening. So again, I know the extreme amount of benefits that come from opposite sex relationships, friendships, but boundaries are necessary, parameters are necessary, being upfront and presenting this person as like truly my friend. Like, basically the relationship I had with my brother, but we just weren't born from the same people. We don't share DNA. The relationship should be talked about in that way, and it should also present that way. When you and this person are around each other, that's what it should look like. It should look like, this is my bro, this is my sis. It should not look like weird flirting or them always doing certain things that like a girlfriend would do or like a boyfriend would do. I think people are so unconscious of stuff like that. I'm that way even with my homegirls. Like, one of my closest friends is a lesbian, right? I am sensitive to the fact that very easily people could think and assume that we mess around or we date because she's an attractive woman and I'm an attractive woman and we hang out together. So I am very thoughtful and considerate of things that are said, things that are done, because we don't want to give off that impression. We're not like being weird and contrived, but it matters. It's important for it to look like a friendship. And I can't let anybody get confused by that because I get to control that narrative. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. They don't define the lines. They don't define the relationships and put the boundaries in place so the relationships look like what you define them as.
Yeah, for sure. And it's funny you brought up the parents thing, because when two friends, they feel like, all right, both attractive, people like, Gotta be
had
doing
to
have happened
for
some
sure
point.
For
like,
sure,
come on now. Yeah. And it's like,
I've had people say like, you never really thought about dating her, and I'm like, are you crazy? Like, no, absolutely not. Like, not my thing, but just also that's really my sis. Like, that's my. You don't ask me if I ever thought about dating my handsome brother, because that's weird, right? I feel the exact same way. I don't think about those things because that's how I define those relationships in my head. In this scenario, I do think what you're like putting down, I'm picking up on, is like all of these women are probably not his friends.
No.
These are women that he might know, hang out with, associate with, hell, might have even had things with, but they're not. I can't imagine that they're all his friends.
No, it's just easy. Like, there's a lot of people I could say are my friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, you know, this person, that person, out of just like, if you go out enough, if you network enough, you see the same people, especially if you're in the same city, you build relationships, you have a great conversation, you might even have a few happy hours with people and stuff like that, maybe to discuss business or other things, and you would still say that person's a friend. And I think what most people, when they say friends, they just say like, I know that person on a personal level.
Yeah.
Like if they were to ask, do you know so-and-so? It's like, oh yeah, I know so-and-so. Do you know so-and-so? Yeah, I know so-and-so. And they know about your life. They met some of your people, like all that stuff like that. But like, if my grandmother passed, is that a person I'm calling?
Right.
Like, is that a person I'm leaning on when something happens? Is that no? So it's not like a true friend, right? It's even
someone you know.
Even if it's something that I dislike that they did or that they said, do I care enough to confront them about it?
That's a really good point.
Like, that's the friend thing, because that's what I'm learning. Seeing how people operate, seeing my wife has her group of friends, seeing like how I've operated with my group of friends is like, if somebody's your friend, if they have a problem with you, then they'll call you and talk about the issue that they have with you. If somebody has an issue with you and then distance themselves from you, I don't think that's really your friend. Because if I'm your friend, I'm owed the conversation of at least let me know what happened.
Right.
Because
even if you want to disband the friendship.
Yeah, it's like, at least talk to me. 9 out of 10, I probably did something I didn't mean to do.
Right.
But I, at least as a friend, thinks that separates me from the other people of getting the benefit of the doubt and actually having a conversation with me. So that's a nugget I just dropped right here.
Definitely.
If somebody isn't willing to talk to you when it comes to like correction or a behavior or something that rubbed them the wrong way, and they rather just distance themselves from you without even talking to you, that wasn't really your friend.
Yes. And for those of you that might try to get crafty in the comments, we're not talking about a recurring problem, right? Like, because sometimes you are in a friendship and there's a recurring problem, meaning you talked about it once, y'all talked about it twice, talked about it 3 times.
Every time you like, you ain't hearing me, so I'm
good. Now you just distance without an explanation. A lot of people be willing to let the whole situation go with no conversation. Like, that's not a friend. I like and love this person too much to just be like, flush them down the toilet.
You don't want to start calling people out, because then they start hearing about the problem you have with them through other people and not directly from you. You have experienced that, Rhonda?
What? Crazy how that happens. Y'all got to stop that immediately. Too big for that. And by big, I mean old. Yeah. Anyway, moving on to the next point, unless you had something else on this. One of the things that I was really picking up in this scenario, right, when she was talking about like he goes out, and when he goes out, he drinks heavily. And then when she is invited, sometimes, you know, she doesn't feel like a priority. So he just like leaves her sitting where she is and He goes and talks to everybody. So this guy very much seems like a life of the party type of guy. Very much a socialite, right? He's got a bunch of female friends. When he goes out, he seems to go out pretty regularly. He drinks a lot, which to me, I'm just context clues that he might hang out for a long time if he's consuming a lot of alcohol. And then when they are together, he's moving around instead of just sitting with her. And I gather that like she's really not like that. Like she doesn't sound like she goes out that much. She didn't make a mention of her drinking habit. So I'm going to assume that if she's associating or she's classifying what he's doing as drinking a lot, that she probably doesn't drink a lot. And then the thing that really stood out to me the most is, like I said, he's going and floating around and she's sitting still. So it's like these people seem to be quite opposite, right? Like he's party guy and she's just more chill and probably would more so enjoy a nice drink at home. People say all the time, opposites attract. Do you believe that? And what do you think it really means when it's like opposites attract?
I've heard that. And I think some things are sayings because they just phonetically just sound like good.
Yes.
Like, what's the trick that they say with like cliches? Like, you just say something and then you reverse it and it sounds like deep.
Yes, like at the end of the day got to end.
Yeah, it's
Shout out to Glorilla. One of my favorites, honestly.
It's like, that sounds deep, but what does it really mean?
Yeah.
I think that it's, I'm trying to find a more philosophical way to put this. But I think opposites can attract, but I think what you're trying to achieve is more of a balance.
Yes.
That's what you're trying to achieve. That, you know, with too much of one thing could not be great for you, but if you have two of kind of equal things on both sides, then it balances out and becomes the right amount of something.
Yes.
So my wife and I are very different.
Yes, I was gonna say, from the outside and maybe even from the inside, you could think like y'all are so different, but then when you really know, in lots of ways, you all are very similar.
We are very similar in the same way. But the thing with balance is that, which is in the word, right? Because, you know, when you're balancing, it's constant work, right? Like if you're on a tightrope, if you're standing on one leg, if you're, it's like you're teetering.
Yeah.
Like it takes work to adjust it to get the balance right. So it's like balance takes a lot more work to kind of put together. And even if you have those people who are not, I would say, made of the same things, like from a foundational standpoint, but there's some other elements that differ from one another. Yeah. That it takes time to find the right balance of it all.
Agreed.
But I do think that it's better if people feel each other, the yin and yang, feel the weaknesses of the other person versus two people exactly the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because then I think you don't get that balance, and typically those relationships a lot of times don't last, or they go heavily in like one direction that ends up not being the healthiest.
Yeah, no.
From what I've seen.
I feel that. And when you were just saying that last part, I was thinking about, like, you remember growing up, because I feel like so many of us Black folks, we lived the same life. That there was that family member who, like, she might have always come to family functions by herself, or she was always at church by herself because her husband just wasn't into it. Like, he didn't want to come to nothing. He went to a whole different church. Like, that was even my grandmother, my mother's mother, and my mother's father. They, two different religions, went to church on 2 different days for as long as I can remember. They did much of nothing together. Like, they lived in the same household, but I never even saw them like sitting on the couch watching TV together. Like, I never saw that. My grandfather would watch TV upstairs. Majority of the time it was baseball. My grandmother would watch TV downstairs, the stories, and wrestling. My grandmother loved wrestling. Oh, yeah, I don't even know if
that was a curve.
I don't know what year Lifetime came out, but my grandmother loved wrestling.
Bunny ears. bunny ear.
Yeah, like I was little. Yeah, okay. Like bunny ears on the TV.
Yeah, on the TV.
Yes.
A lot of y'all young folks may not.
For sure. Even it went over my head for a second. I was like, oh, right, the antenna.
Yeah.
Yeah, pull it out and it split out like that. God bless us for tech. God bless technology. But yes, I think about those and like, I don't want that type of situation, right? I'm okay with my person maybe not being as much of a social butterfly as me. But I also don't want them to be like an extreme introvert. I don't want them to be like a person that's like, no, you go have fun. No, you go do this. Like I want to be able to have some fun with my person, but I also want a person that values quiet time too, because I live in the balance. Like I myself, when I'm by myself and single, I am teetering my own life of like, I want to do a little bit of this, but then I want to do the opposite of that so that I get this balancing thing going on. So I do think while the opposites can attract, as you said, it needs to be in a yin yang way, and it needs to create balance where like I might help you become a little more social. You might help me value being inside more. Like there are cool things to do in here. We save money in here. Or like you're really great at business and I'm great at managing the house, you know, so you could be teaching me some things so I could start my own little small business, and then I'm showing you like, babe, you can't wash the whites with the colors, right? Like when you help out with the laundry, you got to know what you're doing.
Yeah,
there needs to be synergy and balance in that way, and it sounds like in their relationship, particularly on this topic, there isn't much balance there, and it feels like she wants more attention when they are out, and he wants really all of the attention and not necessarily to share it with her. And I think that can be probably accomplished if this is a good relationship through conversation. Yeah. Like it's another thing Dre and I always talk about.
It's conversation talking. And experience, because what you're doing is it's calibrating. Like if you're in a relationship and you both really care about each other, you both really love each other, but your personalities are different. The things that you not value, but the things that you like, enjoy are different.
Yeah.
There's a calibration period. And sometimes that comes through experience, doing things like this, having to figure out. So I was like, okay, we need to calibrate a little bit. We need to work to find this balance. It's like when you had the scale, like, all right, take one off, move it to that side. All right, now it's still uneven. All right, let's move one to this, a little bit more to this side. Because Brie and I had to do that. Like, for those who don't know, like my wife and I, on the surface, are very different people. And in reality are very different people. Like my wife is an extrovert.
Yes.
Like she bubbly.
Yes.
Like, and if you know me, I could turn it on if
it's
I have
not
to.
Your default setting.
That's just not my default setting. But there's a calmness and like a chillness about me that comes to our advantage in a lot of situations too. But I've learned first, which will help this situation, is one, understand the person that you're with and decide if you want to be with that person.
Yep.
That is the truth of the matter. Like you don't want to change the essence of who somebody is.
Right.
Right. I don't want to dim that light. If you're a socialite, if you're an extrovert, I don't want to dim that light.
Yeah.
If I need to figure out if that's the type of person I truly want to be with, and am I comfortable with what comes with an extrovert?
Yeah.
It might be waiting at the grocery store, you're walking out and they still talking to the cashier, right?
Yes.
Like,
oh my God.
like it's dope. Like some
you
of us
know my life.
Some of us have met some people, they will talk to
they never met a stranger.
Never met a stranger.
Yeah.
And you sometimes gotta sit there and be like, okay,
babe, we gotta go.
Hey, come on now. Like, come on, like you
gotta cook. Still, groceries ain't gonna cook themselves.
Yeah, and you gotta understand too. On the opposite side, if you are dealing with an introvert or somebody who has social anxiety or something like that, like sometimes they like, I don't want to go. Like, I don't want to go, and it's like, come on, like it's like, I don't. You can go, but I don't. Like you just have to understand the person that you're with, and once you understand the person that you with, then they'll better help you to understand how to find the balance.
Yeah.
Because if you're trying to change them to be more like you, then you might as well just hang it up, because that's not what you should try to be doing.
Right.
Also in this situation too is you have to understand, you have to be honest with yourself of is that what you really want, or is this some type of jealousy that's creeping in to where you see the attention that he's giving other people and you want that now for yourself?
And I think that's actually more of what it is. I really do think that that's more of what it is. The J word, the jealousy word, it feels like an attack, like when you tell someone that they're acting jealous or being jealous. But I think it's an honest human feeling. Even the female friends think it's a natural feeling to be like, well, that this doesn't make me feel good, and that feeling is usually jealousy. It's something that can be corrected and worked through, but I do think that's a part of it. I really do, that it's like you're giving everybody else attention and not me. And I do think if that's a real thing and it consistently happens, again, it can be talked about. There can be conversation to say like, listen, I'm not trying to change you. I love your personality. It's a part of the reason why we're together. I love how bright you are. I love that you know how to have fun. It's just that sometimes when we're out, I feel like you forget that I'm there, and I don't, and I love playing benefit of the doubt, because I think it helps get your message across sometimes, to say like, and listen, I'm not as bubbly as you know what I mean? So it doesn't come as natural to me. So maybe you could give me some tips on like how to be a bit more like whatever, like hopefully not alcohol induced, because if he's over drinking, that's a problem. But check out an old episode about that. But maybe you say that so it feels like you're trying to help him, but also maybe he could help you. Like, maybe you just pull me in, or if you whatever, like, or next time I'll try to be a bit more active, but just like don't forget about me. I want to participate, because that is not a good feeling to take your person out and then you be like, I'll be back, and then they're just gone talking to people and you watching them like, do you go and follow them around? Yeah. Is that weird?
I think the thing that you have to understand, specifically talking about this environment, is you have to understand first, like I said, your person, but also the environment that you guys are in. You're saying that this is a person who likes to go out a lot. So where you guys are probably going are frequenting or visiting the places that he goes to his spots. The most, his spots, right? Yeah. Also taking into consideration that he probably spends majority of his time with you. These people, maybe it's been a week, maybe it's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks, so where he hasn't seen these people at all. And depending on if these people come at the same time, it could be months. So whenever he's stepping out in these environments, he's maybe going to talk to people that he hasn't seen in a few months or a week or 2 or 3 weeks, and catching up with them versus the person that he's talking to every single day.
Right.
So that's something that could be happening too. That's not like a mindfully trying to ignore you, but it's like, you here, we good, we can talk at any point.
Yeah.
Tomorrow on the phone, today, this my homie, I ain't seen him since middle school and he just popped out. Or, I was catching up with him 5 weeks ago and we was talking about the fight and I told him so-and-so was going to win. So I'm about to go, just talk trash to him and be like, see, I told you about, like, that's the type of, you're in a social environment. Like if you say he loves to go out and you're out is social. That's what it's for. It's, you guys didn't go to Ruth Chris or, y'all not on a date together. Like the expectation based off of the person that you're with, that's why I said know your person, is that he might float a little bit.
And you even need to invite your friends out. Yeah, like we going out, meet us at this spot. So that way, while he's doing that, you could be with your girls or with your friends. So it doesn't feel so awkward. It's like you're together but with friends.
Yeah.
Yes. Like y'all do that a lot. Like it's like, oh, we going out, but like come. Like you come, they come, everybody comes. And so it's camaraderie where like you could be sitting 6-7 people away from Bree. Bree is sitting next to one of her girlfriends, across from another one of her girlfriends, your guy friends are there, and everybody is just vibing. You know what I mean? So there's no pressure that like I am talking to you and I are together. So I get where she's coming from, and I probably more so get it because of the very last part of her scenario.
Okay.
Which is probably gonna have me turn a corner on this particular situation, because I'm happy to throw a bone. I'm happy to play devil's advocate. I'm happy to be like, maybe he just, y'all know I don't like kicking black men's back, men's back, and I really don't like doing that. But this part about how he introduces her and how he doesn't refer to her as his girlfriend when he's talking to other people. Now, he might when it's just the two of them, because she did say she's in an exclusive relationship. So I would hope that was actually confirmed, right? Not like how people fall into relationships and y'all ain't never talk about it, because that happens a lot. So I'm going to hope that it was actually defined between the two of them. I think it is extremely concerning to never introduce your person by their title and their name. And I think if you only introduce them by their name,
is that a normal introduction?
I think so.
I haven't been in girlfriend status at all, but do you say, this is my girlfriend so and so?
Yes. Just like I would say, this is my friend Dre.
Gotcha.
This is my boss Juliana. This is my coworker Kat.
Got you.
I'm going to give everybody, I'm going to tell you who they are and then their name. It doesn't matter who you are, but most certainly be clear. If this is my man, you're gonna be introduced by your title. This is my man, this is my partner, this is my husband, this is my significant other, this bae, whoever, and then his name. I think and really I'm probably putting even more pressure on a man to do that, because I find that out of the two, and y'all know I don't split hairs on genders too many times, but this is one where I do think, because men generally are a bit more territorial, they want it to be known and to be clear that this is my lady, this is my woman, this is my partner, this is my wife. I don't think I've ever been around you in like new company and you didn't say, this is my wife Bree. I've never heard you just say, this is Bree. Okay, cool. Like, unless I know who you are, like I've been following you or something, like our supporters, if you say Bree to them, they're gonna know that Bree's your wife, right? But in general, if this is a stranger, okay, this is Bree. I'm not sure what that means. This is Bree, your cousin, your homegirl. Who is she? That's really, really, really important. And with that said, I just don't think, and this is no disrespect to the person that wrote in, I do not think they're in a committed relationship. I think she's in a committed relationship, but I don't think he's in a committed relationship with her. I disagree with that. They might be in an exclusive situationship, but when you combine you leave me by myself when we out a lot of the times. You don't call me by a title. You have a ton of female friends, and granted, it doesn't infringe upon anything. But when you combine the three things, yeah, it's giving. I don't know if that's really your man. Or he might be your man, but I just don't know if you're really like his lady, because I feel like a man would be clear about that. You my whatever you are to me. When you leave the name off, it's like, I ain't never say that was my girl. I ain't never called you my girl.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll defer to your experience on that. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't been in the girlfriend area in a long time.
Mm-hmm. But when Bree was your girlfriend, did you introduce her as your girlfriend? From what you can remember?
I can't not remember.
Okay.
I would maybe think so. There may have been times I said Bree. I can't call it. My wife, yeah, definitely, because it's just suiting to like this is my wife, Bree. I'd definitely say that, because nothing else would make sense in that situation. Right. But that's a full legal commitment that's being made. So.
Truly. But I think it steps to that, right? You become a girlfriend, and then you become a fiance, and then you become a wife. You become committed before you make the legal commitment. So there's still possession, and that's all the word "my" is about. There's possession to this person, because otherwise, then what's your affiliation to them? Everybody that I'm introducing to someone, unless I really don't know them, like I just met them in the bar, and I'm like, oh, hey, John, this is Jake. Don't know him, just been sitting here kicking it with them. That's the only person that I would introduce like that, because they're a stranger to me, so I can't assign any possession to them. But if I'm out with friends and another friend pull up and they don't know each other, Kira, this is my friend Brittany. Like, Brittany, this is my friend Kira. Like, I need you all to know who the people are in affiliation to me, because I think it matters, So I'm sure. Like, I think I'm 99.9% positive. If you introduced a person to Bree that was a stranger to Bree, you would have called her by whatever she was to you at that time. And maybe pre-girlfriend, you just was like, this Bree. But once that's your girl and your fiance, and you done put thousands of dollars on her finger, it's like, yeah, this me. This my lady. She on this my person.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, I can get that where it's come from. I'm trying to find the angle of where it may not be the case, but I think that for the most part, what you're saying is right. Because I'm just thinking like it's like I can picture in my head because we all know this guy, right? Goes out frequently, knows a lot of folks out, because that's what they do. They like to hang out. I wonder how he treats her when they're out. Like, would you feel some type of way if he didn't call you his girl, but it's obvious they got together, he kisses you while you're there, like different stuff like that? Would that make you feel some type of way? What I could imagine in a sense or a different angle from this to where it's not necessarily that the person is cheating, but which still ain't great, is just more leaving the door open for conversation and interaction. Is that even when you're not there, they're not necessarily doing anything with anybody else, but conversation is easier, it flows better if there's an illusion of availability, I guess. Yeah. So it's like, in that situation, you might refer to that person as their name. But I feel like, don't get me wrong, is that on the flip side, our person who wrote in, I don't know, it gives like, this is something that you feel but haven't communicated.
Yes.
Because even when I had my wife as my girlfriend or my fiance or my wife, if I didn't introduce her correctly, you know who was hearing about it immediately?
You.
So.
With me back here. What was that? Like, what is going on? Are you mad at me?
Like, I wish it was that nice of a conversation. It was like, so I guess I'm just standing here, huh?
I mean, I just chopped the fucking liver.
Like, you introduced me to who it is, so it's like, I felt like if that's really a feeling that you have, like, communicate that joint, like, because even that will give you an answer right there. That's a direct question.
Absolutely.
Hey, notice you always introduce me as my name to people and not your girlfriend my name. What he says will tell you what it is.
That's it.
Oh, I didn't even really notice that. I'll make sure to do that next time. Solved, right? Or like, why people gotta know? Like, we know what we know, right? We talked about this.
Why are you doing this right now?
Like, why? It's always something, dog.
Like, do I not treat you like my girlfriend?
When we out, what it look like?
Come on now.
People know you and me.
I guess I gotta get one of them T-shirts now, huh? With your face on it and your name on it. Yeah, if he gets defensive.
That's why I don't like going out with
you. Damn. Exactly why I'm invite you. There's too much pressure. There's too much pressure to claim you, girl. Like, I don't want to do that. So, yeah, I mean, even at the end when she says, how am I expected to be all in? She put that in quotes as if like that's something that maybe he said possibly, but even if it's not, like, it's almost like there's some undertone. And I love it, right? Because we get so many people who write in. And granted, we know the space is limited. That's very intentional. But they write in usually with the same characters giving the actual story. It's like when you write in the first time, get to what you're really trying to get to. I feel like, yes, while the relationship is good, we just talked about this with somebody else off mic. Some things can be good, right? Like they feel just fine. There's not really anything wrong necessarily, except you're not getting what you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, y'all not fighting. He's not disrespectful to you. He's not beating on you. He's not, he shows up and all of that. But if what you want is to be seen as someone's girlfriend, she said, how can I see a future with this person? I don't feel included in his future. That's more than just these going out moments. That speaks to a whole different set of things. I think there is a theme of you not feeling like this person is taking you serious. And yes, y'all could be getting along and cool and it's fun and all, but that there comes a crossroad where like, dude, we gotta poop or get off the pot.
Yeah, and it's about coming to that reality of what you both want.
Yeah.
Because there are couples who go out all the time. That's just what they enjoy.
Yes.
personally in my relationship, Brie and I, when we're spending time with each other, do not prefer to do that.
Right.
So if I go out with my boys, catch a drink, watch the game. So even though Bree's an extrovert, way more of an extrovert than me, I'm not necessarily an introvert, I guess, necessarily. What would you say?
No, you're not an introvert. I think you're just a balance. I actually think you and I are kind of similar. People think that I'm such an extrovert, and it's like, I'm right in the middle. I'm right in the middle. I could be the person that's out and I'm making small talk, but I'm not like the person like, let's get shots. Nah, I'm cool.
Yeah, I'm cool. And it's like, my wife is very extroverted. Like, probably walk up to anybody, work a whole room.
Yeah,
that's her.
Like, you're not socially awkward at all. If somebody strikes up a conversation, you can be very natural and comfortable with it, and you can strike up a conversation without being prompted.
For sure.
Yeah, you're right.
But when in those environments of being out, I'm definitely more extroverted in that sense and have a lot of connections through that because I enjoy being out more. But we had to come to a realization in our relationship and just had that conversation of like, what do you enjoy? What do you not enjoy? Okay, we do like this together. We don't like that together. That works for us. That doesn't work for us.
Yeah.
And then we move forward in our relationship based off of the conversation that we had. Typically, what you'll see a lot of times is that if somebody went out frequently, that once they get in a committed relationship, they do that less frequently, unless it's communicated that both people like that, or this is the arrangement of some sort. So I will say that, going back to what I said in the beginning, you need to first understand the person that you're with and decide if that's the type of person you want to be with. That's what it comes down to. You know who he is, you know what he enjoys. You can't be for the streets and at home at the same time. So although you might really like this person, he may even really like you, he may not be ready or done with the lifestyle yet that he's dealing with. And that could be fine, because that's not saying that he's cheating or doing other stuff with women, but you have to come to grips with it. Be like, are you okay with this?
Yeah.
Because you may not be okay with it, which is fine. And so that may mean that it's not the right time for you to be with that person.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Not in closing, my parting words are this. I just saw this from someone, so I'm gonna steal it. He said, if you want to be a wife, it's important for you to date somebody that wants to be a husband. And so I think if you want to be a girlfriend, it's important for you to date someone that wants to be a boyfriend. Like, it's very simple. That doesn't want to be a friend. That doesn't want to be a let's see what happens. Because I am very clear that I want to be a wife. So therefore, I only want to date men that see marriage and husband as a future position for themselves. I don't want to date someone that's like, I'm just trying to figure out what happens as I go along. I'm open to it. It's like, that's not the same thing, because I'm not just open to marriage. I desire marriage, and they're very different. Those are different experiences. So, Miss Lady, if you want to be called a girlfriend, I think you should be with somebody that want to be called a boyfriend.
I agree with that.
Make it plain, baby. Make it plain. If it's not plain, it's the confusion is not it in any way, in any situation, in any relationship, in any job, in anything. If it's too confusing, something's going on. Something's not right. So we hope we were able to help you. Please give us an update. We filled in a lot and used context clues to try to put some things together, and I'm really curious how correct we are.
Yes.
But if you have a real love scenario and you want to share it with us, go to relationshiprestored.com. Click the contact button and right into the show. Follow us on social media. I'm at Ronnie Chase.
That's Dre Smith.
And at Relationship Restored. See you next time.